What's really good, guys? Bro Sharp back again with another video. I promised it was going to come and sorry about the delay, but I have now seen The Rise of Skywalker for a second time just to make sure that my review wasn't too hasty the first time around. And I'm now ready to do my spoiler review for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. If you haven't seen the movie yet, please go and watch it, make up your own mind, and then come back and then see if you agree or disagree with any of my points here. This is not going to be a run through of every single event that happened in the movie, literally just what I liked, what I didn't like, any questions that I had. Then I'm going to rate the movie at the end of the video. You have been warned. This is my spoiler-filled review. Now that that is all out of the way, let's get started. So from my spoiler-free review, you can probably tell that I had some issues with this movie. So I'm going to start off this review by telling you guys what I did actually enjoy about it. Now, Adam Driver did an amazing job throughout this entire trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and I really enjoyed his portrayal of Kylo Ren. I thought he was a good villain, not a great villain, but a good villain for most of the trilogy, and I liked the fact that he was redeemed at the end. I also dislike the fact that he was redeemed at the end in some ways. Now, reasons that I liked the fact that he was turned to the good side are this. It was done very well. I liked the way that they went with that. I don't think I could have done it in a better way. I dislike it just because I was enjoying Kylo as a villain and I wanted to see a villain kind of like Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, someone that wasn't a great villain to begin with, come into their own and learn from their mistakes and then become like a terrifying force. I wanted that for him. Even though people call Kylo Ren an emo and he's just very emotional, I just like his emotional outbursts. I think they're hilarious. And he is one of the more intimidating Star Wars villains. So props to Adam Driver for his performance. I also think that this is definitely, as I said in my spoiler-free review, one of the most beautiful Star Wars movies I've ever seen. The practical effects and the costume design was what I love about Star Wars. It felt very authentic. Explosions, space battles, lightsaber fights, it all looked really, really good. I also loved the score. There are some of my favorite Star Wars scores in this movie and The Mandalorian, but definitely in this movie. Even though this film felt a bit rushed, it was a lot more focused than The Last Jedi, I can admit that. So even though I didn't like the pacing, I felt like the movie was very, very focused and I enjoyed that. Now, for the most part, those are the things that I enjoyed about this movie. It is a Star Wars movie and I love the franchise in general, but I know that there are a lot of problems, not just with this movie, but with every single movie. There are some glaring holes. There are some things that people don't agree with. And I understand that. I guess it wouldn't be a Star Wars movie if people couldn't criticize certain parts of it. Because there were amazing movies and some of them less so than others, but that none of the movies I would say were perfect. The main thing that was a problem for me is that you could tell that there was no plan for this trilogy. When The Force Awakens was originally being written and conceived, I do not believe that they had this direction in mind. It just doesn't, it wouldn't make sense. There's a lot of things that happened that were then changed and retconned because they were afraid of getting the same sort of backlash as they got from The Last Jedi, which is annoying. Like, at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. The audience themselves don't really know what they want, because I would like some things but don't even know how to translate what I want to happen on screen. And a perfect example of that is Kylo Ren. I wanted him to be a badass villain but still have the emotional connection and attachment that we have had for him for this entire trilogy. It was going to be very difficult to do that. I know certain people can pull it off, but I myself don't know how I would do it. Prime example of the directors and the writers not having a plan for this trilogy is the fact that bringing Emperor Palpatine back from the dead to be the main antagonist, the main overarching antagonist of these three movies, just like he was for the original trilogy, just like he was for the prequel trilogy. Not only does it make no sense, and it just feels like the directors and writers are trying to play it safe, it nullifies Anakin's sacrifice and his change and Luke turning him back to the light side. It even nullifies certain aspects of the last two movies where the First Order are no longer the main threat anymore, and it doesn't really make sense why First Order ships were all falling from the skies at the end of this movie after they destroyed the Sith fleet, because those are First Order ships. Kylo Ren already had his empire in place attacking people before Emperor Palpatine decided to give him help. He gave him additional resources, a fleet the size that no one's ever seen before. He had those already. So It doesn't explain what the hell is going on with the First Order right now. And by the end of The Rise of Skywalker, the war is over. But technically all they did, and I've seen it twice now, so I don't think I'm misunderstanding, but let me know. But all they did was destroy Palpatine and the Sith fleet. They're now back to square one. If you think about the movie in that way, it doesn't make sense. You saw capital ships and Star Destroyers falling over Endor and different planets that were nowhere near Exegol. Why? Why do all the Sith Destroyers have Death Star tech? It doesn't make sense. Like, they were destroyed pretty easily because the Death Star weapon that was attached to those ships was the easiest target to destroy, and that caused a chain reaction that destroyed the entire ship. That is a major flaw, just like the Death Star 1 and 2, major flaws. Rey being a Palpatine, I didn't hate it. At first it didn't make sense, then obviously it did make sense, and I will say that that is one thing that I neither hated nor liked. I think people have been theorizing this for ages, so it was fine to give her that kind of lineage. I felt like this movie could have added more weight to character deaths. For example, when they thought Chewie died, I think that would have been a good way to kill him off. Not because I hate Chewie, but that would also raise the stakes. Especially if Rey herself was the person that killed Chewie. Like, I watched the movie and Rey is the only person that is upset about Chewie's death. When you see like emotional weight, she's actually haunted by what she's done, which was fine. The fact that everybody else got on with what they were doing instantly really bugged me. So that's why when I first watched it, I didn't really feel like Chewie was dead, because his death should have had more impact. And if they weren't going to kill him, and that was the plan from the start, why make us go through that in the first place? It's just false stakes. You raise the stakes and then you take them away, so we're back to square one. It doesn't increase anything for us because he's not dead now. So anything that we felt for his death is now gone. So do you see what I mean? I think they were just scared at that point to kill a beloved character in that way. But me personally, I thought it would be very shocking. I would have liked it. I would have been devastated, and that's what would have made me enjoy this movie a little bit more, because I would have had that now personal connection that this movie has devastated me in some sort of way. But again, this is just my opinion, so maybe that's not how you guys feel about it. Let me know if you would have preferred Chewie to have died when Rey blew up his transport. I really hated Kylo Ren and Rey's kiss at the end. I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like it. I thought it came out of nowhere. I understood why they brought it out there and put it out there as in like romantic feelings, but the actual execution of it, it just felt like it was just rushed and came out of nowhere, so I didn't like that at all. All in all, I can enjoy this as a standalone movie, but as a connected trilogy, it made me feel worse about the trilogy as a whole. And I don't really like that, because I was enjoying the trilogy until The Rise of Skywalker. I know that people didn't like The Last Jedi, but I enjoyed it. And this has now made me feel like this entire trilogy was pointless, because it didn't stick the landing for me. And if a movie doesn't stick the landing, all you're left with is that bad taste. So I will give my final verdict for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I will give it a 7 out of 10. And I think I'm still being a little bit generous. That was my review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Let me know what you thought of this review and the movie down in the comment section below. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this review. Turn post notifications on. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Taylor about the fucking flex.